Hello, everyone. Again, thank you so much for joining us today for this our fashion tech session. We are really happy to have you here again. As I
Again,
introduced myself not too long ago, my name is Udo. I am one of the co-founders of Building African Fashion, and I'm just going to introduce our segment today, introduce BAF briefly as we look to get started for today. As we know, we are here really to hear from Luca, who will be talking to us about her project, Digitizing Gikomba. But just to share a little bit about our organization so that you have a sense of who we are and what we're all about. So BAF is an organization that is really dedicated to helping to build the African fashion industry. Our goal is really three key things. First is to bring people together. We want to drive collaboration in the industry because we believe that we can do much more when we come together and combine our abilities. And we can help grow the fashion industry on the continent much faster and grow to a better strength than when we are all working individually in our various silos. Our goal is also to help increase opportunities for those who are in the fashion industry, not only to increase it, but also make sure that it's circulated so that there's equal opportunity for all in the industry to have access to whatever opportunities are out there. And then lastly, we are really committed to inclusion and equity. Again, making sure that fashion on the continent is inclusive and available for everyone to really participate in. We want to build a different kind of industry that is inclusive of all, and one that those who are in it feel that they truly belong in the industry. And this really speaks to the root of our work. We began as Bias in African Fashion, as an organization looking to drive issues of inclusion and equity, and we still stay true to that in the work that we do today. And again, I'm one of the co-founders. Our other co-founder, Papo Yemi, is also on the line. And we just came together and decided to put together a team of individuals across the continent. This is our advisory team. As you can see, they're diverse individuals from different parts of Africa and also different parts of the globe. In addition to that, we also have a champions team who also work closely with us. And our strength really is in the diversity of individuals and the depth of knowledge that they have in helping us take on our work. And then just want to touch briefly on the 10 areas that we really focus our work on. I'm not going to go through all of these because it's quite extensive, but I would encourage you to go on our website if you want to learn some more, buildingafricanfashion.com, so that you can learn about the various areas that we're working in to try to drive and grow the fashion industry on the continent. And with that, I will close my introductions of BAF, and I will turn it over to one of our team members who was really instrumental in us having this event today, so that she can help us introduce our speaker today, and so that we can get right into the session. So Delight, I am going to turn it over to you now to introduce Luca for us.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad that you all could be able to join us today. Kindly share your screen, Udochi, as I introduce Luca.
Sure. Some technical difficulties here. Just give us 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Luca is a Kenyan film producer, fashion entrepreneur, and event curator, passionate about sustainability, particularly in the fashion industry. Her latest venture, Digitizing Gikomba, a concept by Luca, aims to bridge the gap between traditional thrift markets and digital accessibility.
Thank you so much, Delight, for that introduction. And with that, Luca, we are going to turn it straight over to you to take us through your presentation. So we're going to have Luca speak to us for about 20 minutes or so. Following that, we are really going to open it up to the audience, to all of us here to ask questions, to give your input. And it's really an informal session. This is us trying to build a community. So we want everyone to feel free, to feel open, and really just delve into hear what Luca has to share, and then also offer your own feedback and thoughts after she has presented. And I think as Luca's coming on, as she's preparing to come on, I asked earlier if people could just put in the chat where they're coming from. So feel free, if you're just joining, if you didn't hear that message earlier, feel free to let us know in the chat where you're coming from, so that as we speak, we have a better sense of where the various individuals on this call are based. So Luca, fully over to you now.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Thank you, Odochi. Thank you, Delight, for this platform. My name is Luca, and I'm the one who came up with the idea to digitize Gikomba. And I wanted to kind of explain what that is and how far we've gone, and maybe where you guys could help out and the whole initiative, yeah. So I'm gonna start with the first question I've been getting about Gikomba. I got someone who's asking what the name Gikomba means or what Gikomba means. But the thing about Gikomba, I don't know the origin of the name, but I know Gikomba is an area, the place where the market is called Gikomba, and Gikomba is the market itself also, where we just have so many thrifts. We do a lot of thrift items, we do a lot of products, and Gikomba has everything for us here. So the idea to digitize Gikomba was more like, you see, okay, when I started my brand, the Luca brand, I was more involved. It's a very typical story where you get out of school, then there's no employment, or there's very little opportunities, and you don't know what it is you want to do for the rest of your life, until I hung out with someone and they asked me, what is it that you'd want to do for the rest of your life if money was not an option? And I thought about it, and I was like, I would like to hang out with people. I'd like to hang out with clothes. I'd like to marry those two. So that's where the whole idea came, because I am raised in a family where we used to thrift at a thrift market. We used to thrift for everything, even Christmas clothes. This was a very good time for us to go to Gikomba and get like a whole catalog of items, and then you can just like style them and look good, and nobody will know that they're secondhand because of how you're wearing them. So that kind of stayed with me all through my life, where even in campus, in high school, I've always been a thrifter. I know how to put outfits together. I know how to look good. I know how to look like, not the background I've come from. So that's where the whole Gikomba thing came from, because I keep telling people Gikomba is not even the place. It's not the items they're selling. It's a mentality. When you go to Gikomba, you learn that the people over there are very fast. They're very smart. They're very quick. They know how to trade. They know how to bargain. They know how to think 10 steps ahead, So that's where the whole idea came from with me. So when I started my brand, the Luca brand, it was very mainly thrifted. I know a lot of people are doing merchandising, and I love that, but I've never been a designer. I didn't go to fashion school. I went to business school. So I didn't know much about designing. I didn't know much about fashion. I just knew I look good and I like my outfits, how I put them together, and I want to teach the next person, or my next friend, because that's exactly how it came about. Because in school, I'd have friends who were like from very nice backgrounds, and they would come to me and ask me, where did you get this? And I'm like, I got it from Gikomba. And then they're like, how much is that? And they're expecting me to quote outrageous prices, but it's literally cents to a dollar, like it's like the least amount you would expect. So with me, like being in a business school, you know, business is all about making a profit. So it just made sense for me to go get those items, come give them, since they already quoted the price for me, and I would just find a way to make a profit out of that. It doesn't have to be an outrageous profit, as long as I make my money back and I make enough for my expenses and to move forward for the next step, you know. So that's how the whole idea came from. So from that's where we built a store, the Gikomba, the Luca Thrift Gikomba store. And it's basically us going to Gikomba, me and a couple of my friends who are very like fashion forward. We've grown up consuming magazines from all over the world. We've grown up looking through Pinterest. We've grown up just liking anyone who's looking good, you know. So if I can go to that pile of thrifted clothes, some of the items that I can't use, yes, of course, but most of them, like you find, yeah, one out of, let's say, like every, like, let's say if you have 3 pieces, one out of those 3 pieces, 2 out of those pieces are very like, it's something you can trade, it's something that you can wear. The one item you will probably not use it. So that's what I started doing. I'm like, okay, fine, this is a pile of clothes that are unwanted from wherever, because I didn't even know where these clothes were coming from, you know. I had to like go through school and grow up and understand these clothes are being imported, which as someone in Gikomba, that's not a bad thing. You know, when you think about importing things, they already feel very good. They already feel very, you know, like this is a really nice opportunity for me to grow outside of the space that I'm in. So that's basically what we did. Like we started me, and I would thrift items and I would bring them to the store, and then I would style them, and then people would like them and they want to buy them, you know. So with time, the market started growing. When I was selling to one person, it became 5 people, it became 10 people. But then the problem about the brand Luca is it's very self-funded. It's me funding it or my friends. So we really don't have a lot of money to go thrift the whole of Gikomba and bring it to the market, you know. So I had to find vendors who I'm like, yo, I only have like, I can get 5 pieces today. You can get 5 more pieces. Another person can get 5 more pieces. That's like a whole store now. We have 15 pieces in, you know. So when you bring those items and then we kind of just tell them, we make them look good. We try to look for artists and people in Nairobi who are willing to just, you know, just believe in our fashion style. It's not about where the items are coming from. It's not about the brand on the clothes. It's just the clothes themselves, because when we put them together, there's a way we just make it look good. And that's why, like, when I talk about my store, I talk about it being a styling store. It's not a fashion store, it's a styling store, you know, because it's all about picking all these pieces that you probably have in your closet and showing you how you can wear them different, you know. So that's how we came about it, the whole concept. So with time, it's been 5 years of running Luca, the brand itself. And it got to a point where our funds are still not increasing because we are also expanding our reach. You know, right now, when it started, we were just a store. And then 1 year, 2 years in, we are a styling brand. A couple of months in, we are a set designing brand, which is so trippy because you are going to find all these items. Even as a set designer, Gikomba gives you everything. It gives you clothes, it gives you props, it gives you food, it has everything. It's a market that is very self-sustaining, you know. You want furniture made, you can get it in Gikomba. But the best thing about Gikomba is it's the least price you'll ever get anywhere in Nairobi. That's the one thing I know about Gikomba, you know. So in 5 years, I'm looking at the whole thing and I'm like, bruh, like the whole market is grown. When I was serving 5 people, right now, 5 years later, I have a platform that has over 3,000 people. And we have people who are not even on Instagram who buy from our WhatsApp, who buy from our phone directly, you know. So it's just like right now we can't really serve, you know, like the demand is more than the supply that we have. So I started thinking of ways of how I can get these items to people. And that's where we came about with the idea of what if we go and have the store in Gikomba where it's the hub of everything. We actually joke about it. We're like, we're in the lake now. We have everything. We have all the resources. We have all the products, you know. So that's what we're doing right now. We currently have a store in Gikomba where we can supply anything to anyone at the best prices anyone will get. A good example would be like a duvet. When you go to a mall, like regular people are gonna shop for like a duvet in a mall, you know, that's the standard, you know. But when you go to a mall in Kenyan money, that's looking like 13,000 shillings, you know. But then when you go to Gikomba, when you buy a duvet and you're smart to bargain, you can get it for even 2,500. That's way below. That's 10,000 way below. So that's the power of Gikomba. The people over there, they're looking for market. But then because of the way the market looks, the Gikomba market is very nasty. Like it's dirty, it's clustered. You're gonna find as much as it has smart people, you're gonna find people who are gonna try to take advantage of you. So it's really not a safe space for someone who's very like, you know, like very, let's say like protective of themselves. They wouldn't go to Gikomba to buy something in as much as they want it. So that's where the idea came from. I'm like, okay, I know how to maneuver around Gikomba. We know the vendors there. We know how to talk to them. We know the price points. So how about we just become the Gikomba, you know, we just become the people, the intermediary between the market itself and the customers. And that's what the whole idea about digitizing Gikomba is about, because with our system, we don't want people to come all the way to Gikomba. I mean, we are already offering that service. It's a personal shopping service, you know, if you want to have the whole experience, because going to Gikomba is an experience and it's something interesting that I feel a lot of Kenyans just want to be part of, you know, or a lot of foreigners. I've had foreigners who come to Kenya and they're asked, they say they want to go thrift and they're told that if you want to go thrift, the first place you should call is Luca, because they know where to thrift, they know what it is you're looking for, you know. So that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to get people to come through us to go access the items in Gikomba, because Gikomba gives you affordability, it gives you quality, especially now if I know how to pick from the three things. I can tell you, like, out of every three things in Gikomba, two of them are very nice. One of them is not something that we can use. And that is something that trickles down from the point of import. When they bring items in, they don't really like go through the whole. I don't think it's very extensive, the quality control. I don't think it's extensive. So for us, we work as the barrier between the market outside and now the vendors and the products that we have, and we segment what items that we think would work and what items wouldn't work. So right now, like I'm showing you right now, the current model is the vendor community, is the Gikomba market, and then we have Luca, which is the one that is kind of deciding what is right and what's not right. And then we just post that on Instagram. Right now we're using Instagram, but from this pitch deck, our plan is to have our own app where people can just access us and we don't have limits, because Instagram has so much limitation. Like we can just post as many items as we want. It has a cap of items. It has a cap of stories. It has a cap for everything, which is as per Instagram policies, you know. So we wanted to come up with a Luca app where there is no, you know, there's no those caps, where we can post as much as we can, and we can also quality control. So after that, when we post on Instagram, we're gonna take care of how the items get to you. We have some delivery channels we're using, so we will send them to them, and then we can deliver the items to you. And thanks to the new age of the internet and everything we have right now, we don't have to worry about, you know, like I can sell to someone in Uganda, I can sell to someone in Nigeria, I can sell to anyone, because we have services like DHL, we have services like all these delivery channels that we are trying to get into to deliver our items. So that's the whole idea of Gikomba. It's just basically taking a thrift market, kind of sieving through the items that are good for the people and the items that we can choose, and then now we sell the items that we can sell, you know. So the items that we cannot sell, that's where the sustainability part comes in, because we, right now, as of now, that's the future, is to have policies that Luca has, let's say like a quote unquote gatekeeping system, where the kind of items that come in our country, we have to have a quality control. That's the vision that we have. You know, we need to quality control out of all these three items that you're sending. If we can map at the gate and be like, this one item can't come in, that's a win for us. Because when you go to Gikomba, the one thing, if you scroll through, you're gonna see the thing about Gikomba, it's so clustered, it's messy, it's dirty, it's not safe for anyone, you know, and it has so much garbage in as much as it has all these amazing things happening in there. So we wanted, like, the vision for Luca is to get it to a point where we can sieve the things that are coming into our country, or we can find a way to kind of like monitor that. But for now, it's just let's see the things that we can sell to people, or kind of show them the potential of things that they can sell. Because again, thrift markets, they bring you this mentality where it's not like a nice thing to wear. From where my background, I don't know about you, but my background is just like, when someone is wearing something from a thrift store, they are not considered, let's say, quote unquote, important or something. But personally, that was my whole life. So I do not really like, I do not sign up to those kind of mentalities or ideas. And that means it's giving me a fresh perspective about thrift, you know. So when I'm coming to you, Udochi, and I'm telling you, look at this cool jacket, you know, if I'm the one bringing it to you, your first concern is not, is it thrift? Because I already look good. I think the jacket is good. And I think my career as a stylist has established that I can pick a good jacket for you. So your concern is not, is it thrift? You know, it's more like, okay, how do I wear this? How do I wear this jacket? Where will I wear it? You know, and that's the thing that we try to do at the beginning of our brand, by just being a stylist, a styling brand, which was not intentional, to be honest. I was just going to Gikomba and thrifting very unique pieces as per my God-given talent, which is just fashion. And then I bring them to the store, and these pieces are so cool, and everyone wants them, but they are literally out of the box. You know, these guys don't know how to wear them, they don't know where to wear them. So the first thing I had to do was educate people on these kind of items. What would you wear? I know, like when you're in an office, you need to wear maybe dull and boring clothes. But when you come to Luca, we can find a way to make your outfits fun. And if you're on this platform, I know you care about fashion. And the one thing you know about fashion is it gives you some kind of an energy that you don't really need to look like how you're feeling or where you're from, you know. And that's what we took and we ran away with. You were just like, yeah, I know you're having a problem today with your office and everything, but I can make your outfit look so good that you're even excited to just go to the office just because of your outfit. And the moment I could tap into that power, and the moment I could tap into that idea, it was just more about educating people, you know. So that's what we've been doing. We just get the items, we show people how to wear them, and then we sell them. Another thing about us is our price point. We have the most affordable thrift store, because thanks to business school, for me, it's always about, you can sell an item on two ways. You know, you can mark it for like the highest price, or you can kind of lower your price, make your profit, but sell the most items. So I like the latter. I like the part where I can sell most items and to more people. It's not about I can make the biggest profit from this person, you know, because Gikomba just gives you the kind of budget or the kind of buying price that you could sell this thing for nothing and still make over 100% profit, you know. So that's where I was just like, okay, fine. If I'm gonna start a thrift store and a fashion brand, I don't want to make it expensive. You know, I know I could literally, the kind of items that I'm getting, I could literally sell them for the biggest markup. But then how many people am I gonna sell that to? So I chose the model that I've run the brand with is more like, let's make it affordable so that we have more customers. Because when you have more customers, it's more like you're moving more items, or you have many repeat customers, or they're going there to market you more. So for me, it just looks like a win-win. It's not a win-win when it comes to the money that you're touching, because sometimes I could thrift a Louis Vuitton item, and you know, on the market, that's gonna go for $100, you know. But because we thrifted it, and this is the amount we thrifted it, and this is our price point, and this is our markup, it just becomes almost close to, let's say, like none, you know. And when someone says they can get a Louis V at the price that is almost below the quarter what it is in a normal store, they want to come shop from you again, you know. And in addition to that, if I show you how to wear that piece, even if you don't respect Louis V, even if you don't know Louis V, you're gonna be interested. And that's the whole idea behind Luca. So for now, like I told you, I'm trying to come up with an app where everything can be accessible, and some of these policies that we're trying to put together, we can just centralize them. Because right now, seeing as I'm working on Instagram or from Instagram, I have to have two accounts. I have to have an account where I'm showing people this is how you wear the clothes, and then I'm having to have another account where these are the products and this is how much you buy for, you know. So I thought having an app where it just a fashion enthusiast who's just looking for inspiration and affordable things, that would be, that's literally like everything I'm trying to do right now. So that's how we started coming up with our app, yeah. And right now we've been working on the tangibilities of the app, like what's the logo, how do you want it to look, what are the, like the small things. I really don't know much about tech. I'm sorry, but I know my business and I have people behind the app who are really informed about what's supposed to be done. They keep telling me, just tell us what it is you want to communicate, and we're going to tell the computer. And I like that so much because that's what I've been doing. I've been telling them, I like that Instagram gives me a platform where I can talk about how I wore the item that I bought. But is there a synergy where the item I bought, I can see how it's going to be worn by someone else or before I buy it? And that's where the app comes in. When we have the app where you just log in either as a customer or a vendor, because again, this is about the Gikomba market. That means the vendors, we are thinking about them heavily because the vendors are the ones who have everything that we need. Personally, I am not Luca if I don't have a vendor who is already out there in Gikomba, because that's what we do. We go to our vendors and they already know the things that we like. They know our style. So we're gonna go to them and they will be like, okay, yeah, so today I have these pieces I think you'd like, because they've seen you there for like 4 years, just buying the same kind of ideas, the same kind of style. So they're even gonna call you. Sometimes they call me and wake me up. They're like, yo, today I got this big package and they found like 3 pieces. I think you would really die for them, and they put them aside. I'm gonna be like, okay, fine, yeah, let's do that. Let me send someone to come get them. And then what you're gonna do, they're gonna go to the vendor. The vendor is gonna mark the price, and then they're gonna come take a photo and post them on Instagram where our market is. So if someone likes what they're seeing and they wanna buy it, they can buy it from our platform. But you have to be very fast, because at the same time, Gikomba has people who come in there and shop, So it's kind of like we can sell something online, but it can also be sold on the ground, which for me, it's not a problem. Like I just wanna move these things, So if my vendor can move them on his own, best. If I can move them even like without even after he's closed, because the thing about Gikomba, it's a physical store like any other physical store. So at some hours it's gonna be closed. But with us being an online space, we really do not need to, we don't have days off. It's like it's on, at 3 a.m. someone can be sending me money. At 3 a.m. someone can be calling me and asking me if something is available, and depending on how fast we are, we're gonna get the money. So I feel like right now they are actually seeing the benefits of us, because at 6 a.m. before they wake up and go thrift the items, they're gonna find a list of items of us from yesterday. Is this available? Is this available? Is this available? And we're gonna send them money. We send money immediately an item is sold. As soon as we confirm it's available, as soon as the customer pays, we just pay it to you. So we have like one payment channel, which is now the Luca line, and then now we're gonna distribute that. So that's basically how the digital app works. And the item is bought. We have riders who are gonna get the items delivered to the clients that we have. So in addition to the app and what it is that the app serves, our idea as Gikomba is also to promote sustainability. When you look at it, I don't like how the Gikomba market looks. Right now, I'm struggling so much to go to Gikomba because first things, it's messy. It has all these people who are literally they just really want to sell items to you. I can say they're desperate. They don't mean bad intentions. They mean well, they just want to sell their items. It's just the way they are going about it. Sometimes it can be hectic. Immediately, if you've ever, I don't think a lot of people have gone to Gikomba here, but if you've ever been to an open air market and an open thrift market, it's just the moment you just get there, you have like 5 people on you asking you, are you looking for this? Are you looking for this? Are you looking for this? Which is kind of, okay, even as a customer, it's kind of confusing because I came here for this specific item, right? But then when you start asking me, I came here for a jacket. But then when you start asking me, do you want high-waisted pants? You're disorienting me because I'm going to start thinking, oh, wait, I really need this. I really need like high-waisted pants, And for that, as a customer, I've disoriented your budget. I've disoriented your whole, like the idea that you had or the plan that you had, So us guys as Luca, we want to kind of like just minimize that or end that in a way that serves this person that wants to sell so fast and so much to this new market. I like as a business person, yeah, you have to be that desperate to make money, but then not at the expense of your customer, So I want my customer to be comfortable when they're coming to shop and their shopping list can remain intact. But at the same time, I want this person to make money. So as Luca, the way we are positioning ourselves is we have the customer and we have you as we call them runners, the people who are gonna, bring anything, like they know where to get anything for whatever budget you ask for, because it's such a clustered market. You can't really like go everywhere. You can't know everywhere. It's been 5 years and every time I go to Gikomba, I notice a new spot. It's so crazy. Like I am very expensive about the market, but you will notice a new spot. And the funny thing is, Gikomba, especially in Kenya, is kind of replicated in every other city. Like Gikomba is the market in Nairobi. When you go to Nyeri, they have a Gikomba in Nyeri. When you go to Eldoret, they have a Gikomba in Eldoret. Those are the cities in Kenya. When you go to Mombasa, which is like a city in the coast, they have a Gikomba called Kongweo. Like it's a whole thing. Like Gikomba is when I say it's a mentality, it's actually a mentality because it's all these markets that are kind of like clustered together and then they're in one position and they never move. That's another superpower about Gikomba. We have problems where the government is trying to get rid of the market because they need the land. Literally, Gikomba is in the city. It's literally at the hub of Nairobi. It's at CBD, Central Business District. Like Gikomba is in CBD, So for the government, I can see why they need that land because they have better ideas of how that land can be used when it's not filled with waste, when it's not filled with all these people who are very chaotic, But then the problem is this is a source of living for people. This is a business that someone has had for generations. I was raised on Gikomba. I'm 29 years old right now. And since I was, I think like 5, I knew Gikomba. So I'm like, you can't just eradicate 24 years of people doing a business just because you want the land. You just need to show them a better way to do the business that also serves your purpose and kind of serves your agenda. Because I understand the government in Kenya, we need the land because it's at the prime of our city. And we also need this market because also when you look at the stats for Gikomba, the money Gikomba moves, Gikomba is moving a lot of money. In a year ago, we were counting 12 billion moves in and out of Gikomba, And I was just thinking, as Luca as a brand, if only I can work my way through that 1 billion. I don't even want the 12, even like just 1 billion. It's easy for me to get so much done because right now when I'm like I was trying to explain to you guys, it's more like the person that is very desperate to make money. When we are in the market, we are showing them you can bring the items to our store. You don't have to haunt the clients when they walk in because also we can also bring the clients. Yeah. So I want you guys to kind of say this, like I'm Luca at the center of this craziness, and Luca, I have a client. Yes.
Luca. So we have some questions in the chat already. I know because time is gone. I hate to interrupt you. I know you can go on for a long time talking about this, but just have for people to also engage and ask questions. And I'm sure maybe some of the stuff you still want to say may come out in the questions. I want us to take some time to now make it more dialogue based, more of a discussion so that people can ask questions and you can respond and then we can move along in that way so that we can ensure that we capture people's questions. And then I see someone put a question in the chat early on. So I'm going to read it to you. And then you can respond, and others on the line as well. If you have something that you want to say, there aren't too many of us here, so you can feel free to maybe unmute yourself and say what you want to contribute to the conversation as well. If it gets a bit rowdy, then maybe we'll have people start raising their hands digitally before they speak. But I think there aren't too many of us here where it'll be too difficult for people to just speak on their own. So let me read the question that we have right now. It says, this is from W, and the question says, as someone who has felt fear in navigating Gikomba, especially on my own, I love this model and really admire your work and all that you are doing. in regards to clothing items, that can't be sold, is there a chance those items can be sold or given to local designers to make new clothes out of them? Or maybe even other artists who like to work with clothes. So I think essentially the question is for items that you find, maybe that you have in surplus that people aren't buying, is there a plan to maybe donate them to or to sell them to artists or designers that can make other items out of them?
Okay. So that's a sustainability part of the plan where okay, so when Lucas started, like us guys, we don't really do merchandising. We don't come up with original from scratch, going to buy the fabric and then making a whole new item. We don't do that. What we do as Luca is we go to Gikomba, we get pieces, and then we repurpose them. We are very good at DIY. The whole career is a DIY. So even the pieces that we put out, we like to reconstruct items. So yes, we like working with designers that are very good at, improvising the items, which also speaks on the vision of our packaging. We'd like to take all these pieces that are not wanted in Gikomba and kind of make patchwork bags. Because patchwork is a thing. And the thing about patchwork is you can put 10 different denims of different colors in one thing, and that's gonna be beautiful, So it really doesn't matter the fabric pattern and all that. You just need the pieces to come together. So at the moment, we are very heavy on, yes, we want to work with people and designers who want to repurpose and refashion items, In addition to that, we are also a production house. As a production house, that means we like to do, let's say, like content and create concepts and all that. And the only way you stand out as a production house is if you do content with pieces that have never been done and pieces that have never been worn. So that's what we do. When we see items that we really do not understand, we can't resell, we don't have anything to do with them, we just want to put them on set, want to think about them creatively. How do I make this piece a fashion statement? So yeah, we like to give designers and creatives as well the pieces that we don't think that could be sold, which also now progresses us as a brand, or also as a creative, it's going to progress you. Yeah, so yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. I love that. Great question. Thank you, W, for that. If anybody else has any other questions, feel free to unmute yourself or just type it into the chat. But I had a question actually as you were speaking. Okay. I realized that the name of the platform is currently called Luca. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So my question is, I know kind of having seen this model of trying to take a physical marketplace that has been around for many years, like you said, generations, and trying to take it digital. As you mentioned, there are markets across different parts of Kenya, different parts of Africa. So this is what you're doing right now is something that if somebody can figure it out, they can literally clean up across the continent if they want to go to different markets and just digitize, So my question is, in using the name Luca, do you think that might somehow alienate the vendors you're trying to work with, or do you think that would make them somehow want to work with you more by the name that you've chosen?
Okay.
Do you understand what the question I'm asking here?
Okay. I this far I've not gotten any kind of backlash with the name Luca because it's actually not even my name. My name is Rosa. Luca was just a name that came to me that when I was starting this whole idea, because I had this idea, but I didn't know where it's gonna take me. I just thought I want something that is very community based, and I want it to stand out like Prada, like Vogue, it's just one word, And I honestly can't tell you the origin of Luca because it's not something I'm personally tied to. But I like what it means when you look it up. It means bring out light. It means all these good things, It means confidence. It means someone who's very sure of themselves, So what I'm doing is something that someone who has no understanding of the concept behind it, they will still look at me because when I was starting up, I've gone to campus and I've graduated and all that. But I had a problem with my family accepting that I'm deciding to go to campus and come back and sell thrift clothes. You know, that's already looking backwards, you know. But when I look at, when someone is trying to listen to what it is I'm bringing, we're bringing light to the things that other people, like, you know, someone that just doesn't know, you know, we're just trying to provide education in terms of thrift items are not really all bad. Thrift items are not what you think. They are affordable. You're going to look good. You're going to get what you want done, you know. So I think for me right now is, if I ever get, because I'm telling you, I've not gotten that kind of backlash. If I ever get it, it's kind of explaining and providing education, because everything I'm bringing to life right now is just something that was in my head, and I met people who are thinking the same, you know. So I'm thinking, if I met 2 or 3 more people thinking like I am thinking, and I feel like it's progressive, we just need to educate more people on how to think the same way we are thinking, which is ideally what we've been doing. Like since Luca started, since the whole brand started, it's not personal. It just means, and even right now we added the name Luca Rindii. Rindii is I am Kikuyu. In Kenya we have tribes, and I'm a Kikuyu tribe, you know, and my name Rindii comes from my name. My actual name is Wakarinde, Rosaline Wakarinde, you know. So Rende, it means community. Rende, by just direct translations from Kikuyu to Kiswahili to English to anything, it's just community, you know. So when you say Luca Rende, it means even you can be a Luca Rende, as long as you understand that some of the things that you believed, you have to let go, and you have to join this wave where we are thinking thrift is not all bad. We are thinking we can clean up Gikomba. We are thinking, yes, the government is trying to eradicate Gikomba, but they're missing the point of the vendors. You can't eradicate them. So how do we marry the two of you? How do I see the government and their initiatives? Because I see what it is they're going for. I see their agenda, but at the same time, if you keep forgetting this person that is going to Gikomba every day, you're going to miss your market. You're going to miss your target, you know. And now for me, it's kind of, I'm the person who was raised to go to Gikomba, and I'm the person who was raised to shop in Gikomba. But I'm also the person who has been taught how a government thinks. I'm also the person who's gone to school and did business and learned that business is just trading, you know, like 1 cent to 2 cents. You know, that's business. You've already done business. So if you can find a way to marry all these big people, let's say like the big corporation, let's say like something like BAF, you guys saw what it is I'm trying to work towards, and you had my plan, and you thought, okay, yeah, as a business, it makes sense, you know, as an initiative, it's making sense and it's progressing something, and it's also cleaning up, you know, we are cleaning up the whole area. We are trying to be something in the future that can be married into something, you know. So as of now, I've not experienced like a lot of that, but if I do, I'm more of, I want to educate you where my principles are coming from. It's not about me. It's not about Kenya. And that's the thing. The first name we had for Luca was Luca Kenya. But then with time, in those 5 years, I get people from Tanzania asking me, hey, can I please get these? Hey, can I please make content with you? Can you please send me these piece? I want to make this kind of content, you know. So it grew outside of Kenya. So it's not about Kenya, it's about Rende, you know. It's about the community. So right now I feel like the priority is to provide information and education on what it is Luca is standing for and what it is Luca is behind. And then maybe with that we can get more people on this. So I hope that answers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Any other questions or comments or contributions? And I see that W has said, I love the backstory behind the brand name. Yes, definitely. I think it's fantastic. Something you should definitely, I think, once you have your app up, something that you should definitely look to incorporate and share widely on the platform, because I think it helps really communicate and better connect you with the audience once they understand that backstory. So I agree. I think it's very great.
Yeah. I thank you so much, because like the first time when we were discussing this, one of the people I've been corresponding with at BAF, they explained to me, they were like, your bio, it needs to explain what it is you are from jump. And I like this because, and that's the thing I told you guys, I want to be on this platform more so to learn what I need to do to access all these platforms that you guys have. Like we talked about people outside Kenya, we talked about Nigeria, we talked about Ghana, we talked about New York, Paris. So it's just more like, what is it that I need to adjust? Because I'm still, it's still new. In as much as it's been 5 years, it's very, very, very new. It's a new idea. And right now I'm open to hearing how we can adjust this conversation in a way that it makes sense to more people, or it resonates with more people. So I can work on making sure the backstory is somewhere, like worked out on. Yeah, thank you so much for that feedback.
That's awesome. I think and it would be great to also hear from others who are on the platform or who are on the call today. If anybody is building like a technology platform or working in some way in fashion, it would be good to also get a sense of that. But one feedback, I think you mentioned kind of wanting to get a feedback from us in terms of how you could maybe do better, what you could improve on. I think for me, and also just to give you a sense of my own story, I also have an MBA, and really very much also approach things from the business side of things. And I also, several years ago, started a online marketplace. So I have a sense also of working to build an e-commerce front and the challenges and that come with that. And I've also learned kind of what it takes to build something like that. And the one thing I will probably say to you is that I know that you said you've been doing it for about 5 years now. And I think that's great. I think the way you started in terms of starting on Instagram, that's kind of like a low cost way to start it, to test out the model and build your base a bit. But I think now that you've been doing it for 5 years and you see that the demand is there, that you have followers and people are really interested in what you're doing, I would move as fast as possible to build out your app and the proper online digital front for it. Just so that you can show that you can go beyond Instagram to like a viable vending front. And the reason I say that is because for you to really scale, and I'm glad that you have that scaling platform slide up right now. In order for you to scale, you need to have more systems in place. People should be able to come onto your platform and just order. It shouldn't always have to just be them messaging you. That might slow things down. And if you want to show that you can, if you're able to show that you can scale, then it's much easier to get funding to help you grow even more. So I think for me, where you are right now in the stage of your business, you've kind of tested the market, you've been doing it for 5 years. I would really put all my efforts into just building that platform so that you can grow even more and show that the business model is viable. And then with that, start looking to raise money to help you, as you talked about, even maybe start to go into other markets and also thrifting from them. So that's, I think, one feedback I would give you in terms of one thing that you can do right now based on where you are.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Udochi. And I like this platform because by now, that's what I'm trying to do, like I'm still working solo, I'm still working with my friends and trying to put this together. But when you are presented with such platforms, which like I would love to mention, Delight is the friend that put me on this platform, like I'm very on the ground most of the time. So maybe I'm trying to improve on that, on knowing how to access all these opportunities and everything. But I feel like also my work on the ground is doing its work because Delight has hung out with me so many times. We've done so much work together. She's seen my journey to a point where when this opportunity came, she just put me on. So I think that's what I'm trying to do right now. And that's what I'm hoping this conversation is gonna give back to, opportunities where I can, okay, let's talk about, okay, this is as far as I've gone, these are the challenges I'm having, and this is how far I want to go, and this is what you could take to get there, and what would you want to help me, because at the end of the day, it's still a business. I like business because it's very clear terms, So I like the fact that I'm showing that I've worked for 5 years consistently, because that wasn't easy, especially with no funding, but I'm still here and I'm growing bigger and broader, So when I see BAF is on my email list, when I see you guys are giving me a platform to talk about me, I know, yes, probably I don't have the money and all that, but like I'm getting there, So yeah, I love that.
Awesome.
Uh,
Awesome.
yeah.
And I see we also have a couple of more comments in the chat. So let me try and read them quickly. So we have one from Janet, and this says, this is a great conversation. Being an intellectual property lawyer specializing in the creative industry, I am interested to know if Luca has implemented measures to safeguard its work. So if you've put in measures to safeguard your work, and
Okay.
then go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, Janet. Thank you, Janet, for that. So this is something, like I said, I'm not very computer tech, which is a flaw in my part, but I try to have around myself people that could know what it is I need to do to safeguard some of these things. But I could always use extra, like help, and that's what I'm looking for. Like if someone like Janet, and I could have a conversation, and I could express to them that, yeah, this is as far as I've gone to safeguard my brand. But there's so many things I know I haven't done. Like recently, the whole sustainably digitizing Gikomba. I don't know how how safe it is to mention this, but somebody wanted to kind of like copyright the term, and they were nice because they came to me to ask me, how we want to go about that. But the thing is, I don't know much about that. So when they told me, the thing I always know about my brand is I learned one thing, never sell the business, So they talk to me about how they are going to do the whole, because they know I'm technologically challenged. Like right now, I'm on this live, but I have someone helping me unmute, mute. I'm just not good at the things I'm not good at, but I know I'm good at what I'm good at. But I also know I admit when I'm not good at something. So they came to me and they told me they wanna copyright that term. And the way they were phrasing it, I didn't like it to a point where I was, no, just leave it. I'd rather you go steal it and you do it behind my back. But as of now, I don't feel like the terms that you're kind of, like proposing to me are fair. And when I'm trying to renegotiate, because I'm a business person, the whole business aspect is you have to negotiate a lot of back and forth with someone until you guys find a middle ground. It didn't really like work. And up to this point, I've been thinking about, oh my God, this person probably already went and copyrighted the term and became theirs. And, like things like those, I'm not very conversant with. And Janet, if you really like this as much as you do, I would really like to talk to you and kind of like help me figure that out, because I really don't know that part. I know how to see the vision and how to get the steps running, but I really do not know much about that part. And I can't say I am feeling safe in what I'm doing. I can't say I am feeling safe in the idea. The only thing I have with safety is this is an idea that I know it sounds very easy to execute, but I know the kind of work that has to be put in this idea. I don't think anyone else has the time to do it. Like I've seen people try to, even in Kenya, I've seen people try to kind of copy paste, not really like take the idea, but copy paste. And they don't even last 3 months, because before you go thrift, come take photos, and those items are sold. Sometimes it takes longer than a day. It takes like longer than a week, and if you're here to make quick money, you can't really take this as a career option. The thing about me is I'm seeing the bigger steps, because like I'm saying, I started as a store. I grew into a stylist, grew into a set designer. Now I'm a producer, and it's just going, like the resume is just growing and it's growing. I'm trying to get into artist management. So I feel like, right, the things I'm trying to do, I'm just confident in the fact that I know it takes a lot of grit, and I know it has to be a one of one thing, but then we are like 50 billion of us right now. So how much one of one can you really be? So I am not feeling safe as of how far I've gone to safeguard myself and my brand, but I also feel a bit stuck. I don't know how to start. I don't know where to go. I just know how to wake up and get my job done. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that Janet asked that question then because it's so important. As she said, you're getting more visibility now, so it's very important to protect your assets. So if you want to follow up with her, we can connect you guys after via email, or we also have just to put in a quick plug for one of the offerings that we provide at BAF. We have a low cost or pro bono legal assistance program for those who are in the creative or those who are in the fashion industry. So we also work to support new brands who may need some advice in the work that they're doing. So you can also, anybody who's listening who feel like they may need that as well, can also feel free to reach out to us so that we can help you in that way. But Janet, thank you so much for bringing that up. And we can, if that's okay with you, Janet, we can help connect Luca with you or vice versa, so that you guys can continue the conversation after this, because this is why we're here, really, to just help each other out.
Yeah.
All of us have different various pieces of the puzzle, and it's all about just coming together to build that wonderful picture that we want to build. So
Okay.
thank you, Janet.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to Janet, and I'd love if you guys connected us. So yeah, Janet, I hope the feeling is much better.
Awesome. Okay, Janet has actually shared her email, and I'm sure others on the line will probably get it too, so that they can reach out to you, Janet, for some of their legal questions. Okay, so we have one more. Okay, we have one more comment, or one more question. I think it's actually a comment, or two more comments. And then we're going to close it out formally. I'm gonna have after we read the two comments, I'm gonna have my co-founder Papa closes out formally. Then after he closes us out, we will still stay online for those that still want to stay on and just ask questions and just engage with Luca, talk about the stuff that you're working on. But to respect everyone's time, we'll close formally in a few minutes. And then those that still want to stay on to continue the conversation can continue to stay on. So let me read the first comment, and that's from WNYK, the Sample Studios. It says, interesting to hear about your sustainability approach by repurposing thrifted clothes. It is definitely a need with changing trend to repurpose what is already available. So yes, definitely that's very true. Great comments there. And then the last one is from Teresia Kimani. And it says, I am from Nairobi, Kenya. I've been to Luca's workshop and at vending events that she was a part of, and she's really great. Awesome. That's a testimonial for you. She's really great to work with, and her vision is clear. I'm excited to see her grow. So that's awesome. So those are great words to close with. Happy that you're already making an impact and that people are excited to see you go further. So Luca, thank you so much for taking the time. As I said, we're gonna just have one of our co-founder or my co-founder close us out. And then everybody else that wants to stay on and still chat with Luca and talk about what you're working on or any questions you may have about building the business or working in fashion and tech or just working in fashion can stay on and we can have a conversation after that. So Papa, I'm gonna hand it over to you. And Luca, do you mind just stopping your sharing for a second? We'll bring you back up once we're done with this segment.
Yeah, thank you, Dochi, for that. Can you guys hear me? Because I don't know if my network is strong enough. Yes, we can hear you. Yes. Come again with what you want me to do.
Just close us out.
I heard my name, but I didn't hear what you were saying fully towards the end.
Just close us out. Your network is. It seems like there's an
my
echo.
network is like misbehaving.
Okay, that's fine. I can handle it.
I don't know what's happening.
No problem then. I can handle it.
Thank
So
you.
I just want to thank everyone for joining us, and just to quickly point to you again to our various resources. I did a brief introduction about the organization when we started, but I'm just going to point you all to our website, buildingafricanfashion.com. We are really just an organization looking to drive collaboration, knowledge sharing, and inclusion in Africa's fashion industry. You can learn more about the different things that we're working on, the 10 verticals that we're working across to help drive growth of the African fashion industry on our website. I also encourage you to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Building African Fashion, and then on X or Twitter at BAF Community. And we actually just also created a TikTok account, so you can also find us there. And we're also at BAF Community there. So thank you so much, everyone. We are going to be having more of these sessions more regularly, likely once every month. And we really want to build a community of people who are really supporting each other and working with each other. So we encourage you to continue to come back to these, because the more you come back, the more you get to know those who are on, the more we can help each other and the more we can learn from each other. As I've said several times now, each of us hold one piece of the puzzle. And if we all come together, we can really help put together a beautiful picture for ourselves, for the industry as a whole. So thank you so much again for coming up for this. And we look forward to having you at future fashion tech events and also future BAF events that we'll be having. So take care for those who are leaving, and then we'll continue the conversation for those who want to stay on. Thank you so much. Okay. So I see there's another comment in the chat. And Luca, please stay on so that we can continue to converse with you. So I think, let's see, I have a comment here. Amina from Nigeria, I'm a fabric vendor and I want to start a clothing line alongside. I would like someone already into it to guide me from ground zero to the top. Okay, do we have anybody who is, actually, yes, we do. Anybody who is a fashion designer or into fashion production here, who might have some thoughts for Amina on how she can maybe get started in that process. And if there isn't, that's fine. Amina, what we can do is that we can note down your name, and then we can follow up with you and see how we can connect you with some resources to help you with that.
Yeah.
As I mentioned.
Also,
please go ahead.
For Amina, I mean, if you're trying to work in Kenya, anything fashion, if you're trying to expand in Kenya, anything fashion, I feel like I would know where to guide you. I'm not a designer as much as coming up with outfit concepts and everything, but I'm very plugged in when it comes to the best designers in Kenya that you could work with, the best markets, the best, yeah. So if you would ever be interested, yeah, I'm very much open to be part of that.
Awesome. And I think we're also going to be, okay, Sharon says that she can, but she can't talk right now. So Sharon, I think we should also have your email. So maybe we can look to connect you guys after the discussion to help you give some thoughts to Amina on that. And I know Papa is also very much a fashion designer, but I know with his internet, with his connection, he probably isn't able to speak right now to give us any thoughts. And then I think we're also going to be having a series of trainings or conversations around different parts of production and design. That should be starting, I think, in January of next year. So as that is also, as we release information about that, Amina, please follow us so that you can see when we start making that available. And we'll also definitely send it to you since you're now on our email listserv. Is anybody here? Does anybody here in the kind of the tech space? Okay, so nobody here in the tech space. The reason I ask is that I know that a lot of creatives have great ideas, but one area that I've often seen them struggle in is in the tech aspect of things, technology aspect of things, figuring out how to maybe build the platforms that they want, or figuring out kind of how to find the resources, how to find the talent that they need to build what they want. So I think perhaps in future we can look to identify some speakers that can really engage with us on that, and how to one, find the talent to build the platforms that you want, and then also how to navigate the process, how to understand what the key features you want to build, and how to kind of phase the building process so that you can build in a way that allows you to get off the ground without wasting too much time, and then scale up from there. So are there any other questions for Luca? Luca, do you have anything else you want to add? Or does anybody else have any comments or questions generally?
Okay. So for me, I just say thank you for this platform. Thank you for everyone who joined in.
Definitely.
It was nice. Yeah, this was so nice. And it's like I told you guys, the fact that you already exposed and you're coming back to get us and educate us and give us opportunities, that's already a step 10 times forward for someone like me. And this is such a validation to even be here talking to you guys. So thank you. Keep doing this. Yeah.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you. Definitely. It was great to hear about your platform and what you're working on, and really wish you all the success and all the best as you continue to move forward. And of course, we're going to stay engaged with you and continue to see how we can support you. And I hope that you also continue to come out to these sessions, so that even as you hear others present, you can also learn from their story. And you can also continue to contribute to others and help them as they also build their own platforms. So thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, I'm gonna count us down to closing out the meeting finally. And feel free to, and then also if you want people to connect with you for anything, also maybe put your email in the chat and maybe mention whatever it is that you may need. Again, this is like a chance for us to really support each other and help each other out as we're working on our various businesses, ventures, ideas. So I'll give us a moment to do that, and then we'll close out. And don't forget to follow BAF on our social media platforms. Yes, follow us on our social media platforms. On Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook is very simple. Building African fashion, so that you can know when we have other events coming up, and also follow content that we'll be pushing out. And then on Twitter, we'll be Twitter or X, we are at BAF Community, and TikTok as well, we're at BAF Community. So I think that is it. I think everybody that wanted to put their details in has put their details in. And with that, we'll close it out. Thank you guys again, and take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, and we look forward to having you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.